Hey guys, hope you're all okay. Join me in my garden. My bike's out on the paddock stand. I just thought I'd have a little chat about the bike really. I've done 4.9 hours. I've just done the first service. And while the bike was clean and not covered in mud, as it usually is, as you've seen in my previous videos. Right, so first off, let's run over a few things that I've changed on the bike, anything that might be different from the last video. And then we'll chat about all the oil and bits and pieces that I use, cleaning products, other parts I've added and things like that. So yeah, since the last vid, nothing's really changed. I did add these before the last video, the number boards. I did actually, for some reason, a bit's peeled off there, not sure what happened, but that's part of having an enduro bike. They look really good, they're very durable. Yeah, really pleased with them, really pleased. Also got a sticker kit from KTM, which, as you can see, KTM power parts, hand guards, front, and a sneaky little sticker under there saying ready to race. And that's it. I've not added anything else to the bike. Everything is the same as it was before. Nothing's different. It's all the same. But it's just good to look around it when it's clean. And all you find when you clean a bike, you just notice things you wouldn't notice if it was dirty. So things we did, it was the first mini service, dropped the oil out, changed the fuel filter. I've got a spare one over there on the table, I'll show you that in a minute. So changed the fuel filter, I think that's what it's called, fuel filter. Actually my bro did it, I was watching him, but I didn't take much notice about what he was doing. Next time he does it, I'll have to watch him a bit more carefully. So yeah, I'm sure it was the fuel filter that he changed in there. Top the oil up. I did check the spokes were the right tightness. I've got a tool I'll show you in a minute that I use for that. And I just went through and just checked a lot of the bolts really, to make sure everything was tight. So guys, the only thing I could fault with the bike was some excessive spring chatter from inside this fork. It won't do it now because I've got the bike's not off the ground. It varies a little bit. I'll add a little clip now to earlier in the week when I actually found the noise. Hear that rattle? And it's coming from in here. So you can see how rattly the fork was. I've checked with the guys at KTM, it's going next week. Just have the fork looked at, they think it's okay. A bit of spring chatter's fine, but it sounds like something's really loose. So the great guys at Gmansbikes in Braintree are going to check it out next week and just have a look inside the fork, make sure the spring isn't really loose. I'm sure it's fine, and they'll plug it into the diagnostic machine to just make sure everything's fine with the bike after its first 5 hours. So that's the only thing I'm a little bit wary of. So I did ask the guys about fitting a fan to the bike, which it does come standard on the 4-strokes. And they were saying that there's no point really with a 2-stroke. If you're keeping it moving, it won't overheat as quick as the 4-stroke would. So I'm not too worried about fitting that, not for now anyway. It's probably about £250 fitted, which is a lot of money. But at the moment, I'm not going to bother with that. So there's nothing else to do to the bike. It's spot on. Oh, the other thing I did notice with the tubeless, I rode it a couple of times and I didn't check the tubeless pressure, and it had gone down to 70 psi, which isn't good. You've got to keep them up to at least 100 psi. So every time I go out now, without fail, I'm going to check the old pressure on the tubeless without doubt. I'm running about, the rest of the tyres running at about 10 psi. That seems to be a good balance of 8 to 10's about right for me, because we do a little bit of road work as well. So I don't want it to be too soft. But bar that, everything is wearing really well. So in about a month's time, we're going to book an enduro track just for ourselves. It's about £500 for the day, and obviously the more of us that go, the cheaper it will cost per person. Just to get us used to some hills and jumps and going over logs and stuff like that and rocks. That'll be good fun because it's so flat where we live, it's just really boring. So we're going to do that, and then we booked a trip to Wales in May, staying in an amazing barn, hot tub, pool table. It looks awesome. I think there's 8 of us going so far, and we've booked a guide for a couple of days, so that will be superb, absolutely superb. Looking forward to that. Right, let's just run through some of these things I've got laid out on the table. I've got 2 air filters. At the moment, the dirty one's in there. I've got to clean it. So I use this bucket for cleaning and washing the air filter. And then I prep up the filter in here with the fluid or the oil. And it can live in there in a bag, ready to go on the bike when I've got to take out the old one that's in there. I did use this spray, but it's hard to put on. I've got this now. I think this is going to be better to put in this bucket, just to rinse through the filter, and that's the cleaner for the air filter. That's bung for the exhaust when I'm washing it, and that's a cover for the air filter when I'm washing the bike, which is really important because I'm using a pressure washer. So using the Motorex oil, keep it topped up with that. When I do the servicing, I use that. That's what they recommend anyway, so that's what I use. Chain cleaner, I use that. WD-40, you can use whichever one you want, but this is brilliant. This lube is superb. Even after washing the bike and pressure washing it, it's still on the chain, and it's no fling. It's just a clear lube, but it's meant for off-roading, so it's absolutely awesome. Spot on. Got some spare mud grips. I must admit, my mud grips after a couple of rides, I took a bit of a hammering. They are good, they're comfortable, but this one's already got a hole in it. But they're only cheap anyway, but they do soften, take out the vibration. With my stupid fingers that get sore, they're invaluable to me. The toolkit you get with the bike is pretty good. It's got everything in it that you could, you're out on the trails, there's everything in it that you could need. I did get this titanium, it was expensive, it's about £15, titanium fork spanner for tightening up the old forks, keeping the tightness right on those. I haven't got a torque wrench for those, I've just got it so that just to check they're all the same tightness. Don't over tighten your forks, whatever you do, that's not good, or have them too loose. So I'll keep that in there, it lives in there. What else have I got? I've got a spare spark plug. If we do Wales, I'll keep that with me. Some crush washers and a fuel filter. If you can see that, just a little fuel filter just in there. Another one of those as well. Right, a few problems with my boots and hitting the gear lever. So I got this extended gear lever. It's just a bit bigger than the other one by about sort of 4 or 5 mil. But this one is so difficult to get off. There's no real way of getting this off. So when it goes to KTM next week, I'll ask them if they can fit this for me. But I actually found out this is the wrong part. This isn't the right one for this bike, so they've ordered me a new one in at KTM. And also the brake lever, this one is the original one in my hand now, and because of this cover's been fitted, it's quite hard to find the back brake because this cover sticks out quite a lot. So I asked Jermaine to send me an extended. I think it's about 5 mil wider. It's just easier to get with your foot. But as you can you see the angle? It faces down because the last one, the holes are at an angle, so it actually sits up like that, and this one is flat, so it points down. So this is the wrong part too. But I've thread locked it on, but you can see it pointing down compared to the foot peg. So I've thread locked it on, and I've shredded my hex spanner trying to get these off. So Jermaine, we've got the right ones in, because this must be for an earlier model, because it's definitely a different shape, but it's the right width. I'm chuffed because it's definitely it's a lot wider. It's a lot easier now for my foot to get it, because the other one was tucked, well, it was under, it was like that. It's a lot smaller, so you can see the difference in size. Just need to get the right one, so they'll sort that out next week when I go. So both these are expensive. These are like £30. This is about £30 for that, and that was about £30 as well. But I don't really trust aftermarket parts. I did get some cheaper ones here, about £4 each. I don't know how, and this won't fit because, as you can see, it's it's a bit of a different shape. That's flat, where the holes are, and that's angled. So I might give these to my bro as a little present, but not going to use those. I'll keep them as spares anyway. So guys, that's it really. There's not much else to say about the bike. I'll let you know in my next video how I get on at Gym Aim and what they say about the forks, because you can see there's no rattle now, but you did hear earlier in the video how loose the spring is. I'm sure it's fine, but I've just not noticed it before. I noticed it about a week ago. So yeah, I'll see what they say, but the bike's faring up well. Been through lots of trees and bushes. It's going to get scuffed up when we do some more hardcore stuff, enduro track in a month's time. Weight was just going to get dropped a lot more. These are faring okay. I'm so OCD, I actually got orange cable ties to match that. That is how sad I actually am. I am sad. But that's just how I am. So, yeah. I've not had too much problems with these stickers. Look, you can see there, just lifting up. They bloody just keep coming off. I've got another one somewhere as well, but oh, do you know what? It doesn't really matter. It's not a big deal. I did mention it to Gym Aim, but it's not a major problem. Right, guys, next video we do, I'm not sure where we'll be on these bikes. I'm not 100% sure. Simon's got his new 300 TPI, but he's not been on it. He's hurt his knee skiing, so he's not actually ridden it yet. So we'll do another run out somewhere in a week or so's time. But I'm not riding this because I'm a bit wary of the front suspension. I'll put some links in this vid of this bike, my CRF 250, which I must say I'm not missing at all. This is such a different bike, and I know this is twice the price, but it's 10 times the bike of what the CRF was. It's just a completely different, it's a weapon compared to the CRF 250L. Right guys, as usual, any questions, give me a shout. I'll answer them as best I can. This is all new to me, all this, looking after a bike, air filters, changing the oil, it's completely alien to me, but it's not difficult. If I can do it, anybody can do it. I'm not going to strip the engine down and take the foot, I'm not doing all that nonsense, but yeah, it's not difficult. And it gets you to check over the bike, make sure everything's okay. It's good fun. So yeah, anyone thinking about it, green laning, enduro, or race, whatever you want to do, just get a bike and have some fun. Doesn't matter how good you are, It's a great learning curve. We're way better riders now than we were when we first got our bikes. Guys, yeah, one thing I did forget to mention is I do bleed my forks after every run that I do on the bike. It's really important. A lot of air came out of the left fork and no air came out of the right fork, but it doesn't matter whether air comes out or not. Always try and bleed them. And the little bolt that's on the top of the forks, little hex bolt that's tucked away, you won't be able to see it's tucked away in there. But the front, it's not tight at all. We'll never over tighten it. Always keep it just tight enough. But yeah, do bleed your forks. That's important. All right, guys, take it easy, and I'll see you next time. Cheers.